Welcome back to the Intuitive Mentor Mom podcast, where we explore strategies for practicing more self love, gratitude, and finding new ways to empower ourselves in this ever changing healing adventure of life happening for us. I'm your host, Mychelle. Let's get started. Welcome back to the show. It's so good to be hanging out with y'all, and I want to say thank you for joining me for yet another episode. So, I want to wrap up the last few weeks that we've been talking about, creating the illusion of your life. And we talked about how, in regular sense, illusion can actually be, when you look at the definition, it's more of a negative term. However, I'd like to recreate that and say, this very world that you're looking outside at is this really fantastic illusion that you get to create. You get to create and say how it goes. You get to be the architect of your life. You get to see life as happening for you, not to you. And when it's happening for you, you get to look outside of you and say, okay, so what is it really? What are the things that are showing up? How is life, looking for me? Are there areas of opportunity that I want to grow or change or shift? Especially we talk about the space of self-love, self-healing, empowering ourselves. So I believe that, to feel those things at the highest potential for yourself, you really have to look within. You have to look in the mirror and you have to look within. And you have to look at all those areas you may not want to explore within yourself, because you have to call one out on yourself. You have to tell the truth to yourself about, hey, if this area of my career is not working, or, my parenting situation, or friendships, or finances, or even just your spiritual connection to, you know, God, spirit, your higher power, however you see it or don't see it. Your conscious awareness, your, creating more stillness in your life, creating more peace in your life. When we don't have things that we'd like to have, we have to look inward. And when we have the ability to look inward and do the work, sometimes it can feel like dirty work because you got to scrub and get deep. That's when this outer world gets to shift and change. And we were really looking at that over the last few weeks. And what's next is being on the court of life, you know, because that's where it's at. And that's what this creating this illusion is. So I just want to recap some of the things we explored. We explored the power of our mind. We explored in episode 8, we explored the power of our mind, our thoughts. And I was talking about that really cool book, Happy Pocket Full of Money. We were looking at how our thoughts are powerful, how what we think creates our outer world. And how do you manage what you think? You know, um, what are what are you thinking? What are things that you're thinking? Are you thinking negative thoughts? Are you thinking positive thoughts? Are you thinking worried thoughts? Are you not thinking at all? Are you just unconsciously walking around your world and your life, just existing because you're surviving the tasks of your everyday existence? What are you thinking? And are you taking time out for yourself to manifest? What are the things you want? So today is going to be a little bit of a recap and launching us into what the next conversation is. And that's really about being on the court of life and what that looks like, and how, you know, being on the court of life can sometimes be, it's fun, but it may not always look fun. Um, but that's where, when we talk about, self-love and self-healing in that space of empowerment and gratitude, you really want to be playing on the court of life. So, okay, so let me get back to the recap because I'm getting excited about talking about that. But, in episode 9, we talked about our trust, know, and believe, and unhooking from the outcome, getting detached from the outcome of what it is you're looking to create, but also really knowing that, I think some people that might listen to this will say, well, I can't create my world. I'm not the creator of my world. Like, what are you talking about, Tara? Like, that's not possible. And it is possible. I promise you, you're getting everything you've ever wanted. It just doesn't look the way you thought it would look. And sometimes you're not even recognizing that the very thing you were wishing or hoping for has already arrived in your life. Or when it shows up in your life, you're like, that's not what I really wanted, because you weren't specific about what it was you're wanting, or let me rephrase that. Sometimes it can show up and be the very thing you desire, but it doesn't look the way you had envisioned it, and therefore you will miss it. I use the example of, you could have a dear friend, a good friend. Like if you're a single mom out there, you could have a dear good friend who is very interested in you romantically and is really actually the perfect fit for you. But because you are so attached to an outcome of how or what they should look like, you might miss the very thing you desire. You might let it walk right by you because you'll push it aside as like, that's not what I wanted. Or that's my friend. Like, I can't do that with my friend. That's weird. When really that friend might be the perfect person for you. It's funny as I share that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm listening to my own thoughts and I'm listening to my own coaching. Was there somebody that walked by that I missed? I'm sure there have been people that I've totally missed, but I'm human. I'm human. And as I've shared, this show is really raw truth about my personal life and me sharing how I bump up against stuff and how I fall down and how I, dust my knees off and keep on going. And through that, sometimes I'll have some amazing wins and sometimes I'll have some amazing epic failures. And so I'll share those things because life is a healing adventure. I really believe that. And it's happening for us, not to us. So then in episode 11, we talked about being wildly accountable. Stop blaming that which is outside of you for your life not working. And really, if there's an area of your life that's not feeling amazing, or you're not feeling empowered by, you're not feeling in love with, it's simply a reflection. It's a reflection of something going on within you. It's a reflection of something going on within you. That had me think of something that I wanted to share. Um, but I think I might have to share that in a separate episode. So I'm gonna hold tight with that because that's a whole nother conversation. And it deserves more than just a gloss over, because there's something really beautiful about how life reflects to us. Okay. So when you're getting wildly accountable, you really stop blaming the outside world and you start looking within. You start looking at what is the persistent complaint that's happening in your mind? What's the racket in your mind? What's the thing you keep complaining about? I shared in that episode where one of my persistent complaints was they don't see me. They're not seeing me, damn it. They're not seeing me. I have a solution, or especially in the area of work, like I have a solution, but when I share it, they don't hear me. They don't see me. They're not listening. They're passing me by. They're not choosing me. Blah, 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 blah. I am so tired of that persistent complaint. Literally, when I talk about it, I'm like, ugh, I just want to vomit because it's like, oh my God, could you just stop already? But it took me a long time to really see what I needed to see. So you want to look for yourself. What is the persistent complaint? And for those of you who haven't listened to episode 11, I encourage it. I actually go back to 8, 9, and then 11. 10 was an aha moment. That was an aha moment because on this show, every now and then I'm going to have these aha moments in the middle of a moment, like a day, like, oh my God. And I'll have this aha moment. And I want to share those. But if you go back to 8, 9, and 11, that's really where we talk about this recreating of the illusion that you're living within and creating it to the way that you want to see it. But in episode 11, I was talking about how, I hadn't been seen. And what I got to was that I was the one who wasn't seeing myself. And a lot has shifted over the last few weeks since seeing myself. And seeing myself in this space of really getting who I am for myself and for my son and for the world I've created. And isn't that really what life is about? I know not everybody sees life and lives life the way I do, but there's got to be a bunch of you out there that do, where it's this playground. It's this beautiful space that we get to create. It's this beautiful space where we get to feel all the feels from the worst to the best feelings. And then we get to navigate what that is for us and how do we become the hero of our world. And the hero is for you. It's not for anybody else but you. You could say it's for your children. I absolutely want to be the hero for my son. But it requires me to do all the dirty work within, looking under all those pockets or boulders that I don't want to look under and cleaning it out, cleaning house, cleaning my inner sanctuary, my inner, what do you call it? Um, my temple. I also want to say when you're looking at your persistent complaints, where have you sold out on yourself? I sold out on myself huge in the area of romantic relationships. Woo, for a long time. For a long time. Really sold out on myself. Really had to look at some aspects of my behaviors, my emotions, my worth, and had to repeat it many times, multiple times, over and over and over. Oy vey. But you bump up against those things until you're really ready to make the change. And when you're ready to make the change, you change it. And when you're ready to make the change, it's amazing what happens. Where have you sold out on yourself? You know, I sit and I really think about that because I think to myself, here I'm 53 years old. I sold out on myself. And that's okay. It really is okay. There was a deep lesson there, one around self-worth, self-love, really loving who I am, fully accepting who I am and who I'm not, loving every aspect of Tara, me, myself. And now being able to say, okay, I see me, I see myself. How can I nurture myself? What can I give myself, especially in the area of romantic relationship? What is the love that I've been, you know, robbing myself of? What are the things I can do? When you're able to really look at yourself and look at your shortcomings or the areas where you sold out on yourself, it's not about making yourself wrong and shaming yourself. That's just being human. It really is just being human. There's nothing to make wrong. If anything, there's all to embrace, celebrate, and love and say thank you. Thank you, self. Thank you, shortcoming, for being one of the greatest lessons on earth for me. Thank you for constantly reflecting that which I was not seeing or that which I needed to see within myself. That's what comes out of telling the truth on yourself. And that's where we hold ourselves accountable. So once you've done those things, and I'm curious how any of you have been doing on the journey, if you've listened all the way through, once you did those things, what was it like for you? What did you bump up against? What did you see for yourself? Did you see a new area of freedom? Did you feel pissed off and angry? Did you feel afraid, resistant, not wanting to go there? Did you feel defensive? What did it feel for you? What was it like for you when really looking at, how is my life showing up for me? What is it I really want to create? Who have I been being? What are those persistent complaints that I have? How do I navigate the journey? How do I give myself more love so that I could give my children more love, so that I could receive more love in my life? Those are the kinds of questions you really want to start asking yourself. Because I'm committed that that all of us mamas out there in the world, that we truly experience the fullness and the richness of freedom, joy, love, peace, that you feel empowered in every step of your day, that you truly understand who you are, know who you are, and own who you are. Because once you unearth those areas that you need to look at, that's when you can shed them, when you really feel the emotion. When I really got to the source of who I am, when I got to the bottom of really recognizing that I had not been, seeing myself, I shed some tears, some deep tears. And then there was this whole new space of freedom that showed up in the last few weeks. This whole new shift in perspective where everything that was already in my life, the perspective just shifted. It was like I took off the old glasses, put on the new ones, and I could see everything differently. And I was like, wow. And as a result, what showed up are all these new opportunities in the area of my career, opportunities that I kept resisting and pushing off. And the universe kept saying, hey, take a look at this, take a look at this, take a look at this. And I was like, no, 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 because I need it to look this way over here. I'm attached to this outcome over here. I can't even see that right there because I just can't see that. And the universe kept saying, but this one, but this one, but this one, but this one, but this one. And the moment I was able to really see myself, which I talked about in episode 11, and really get who I am, everything shifted. And as a result of that, like I shared, everything's showing up wildly different. People see me when they talk to me, especially in the area of my career. They're like, we want you. You're really smart. We like what you have to say. We like your work ethic. We think that you're great. You have something we need. I don't know that I've ever really experienced that. And if I have, it's been a long time because it has not been that way lately over the years. So I share that in hopes that those of you who've been on this journey of reconstructing your illusion, I'd love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, what your experience has been. I would love to hear what opened up for you, what shifted. Because what's next is being on the court of life and what that looks like. What does it look like to be on the court of life? What, how is that for you? I have a dear friend, her and I, we talk all the time because we play on the court of life. That girl and I, we were like, we're on the court, we're playing. It's a messy game, but man, we are playing, we're shooting, we are, we're making sure that we are rolling around in it. And I'll talk about that more in the episodes to come. I don't want this episode to be too long, but I wanted to wrap up this experience of, recreating your illusion. What was it like for you? What showed up? What's opening up for you? And if you feel stuck, you feel like it's not something you can see, or you want more, please reach out to me. I'm happy to support you on the journey. That's what I'm here for. It's one of the things I'm here for. I'm here for many things, but one of the things I'm here for is to support those who are feeling stuck or, afraid. I know what it feels like to be afraid. I know what it feels like to be stuck. I know what it feels like to be stopped. I know what it feels like to feel like a complete and utter failure in my life. I I know what it takes to have to stand up and keep walking in the face of absolute, you know, resistance or things just not working out time and time again. I know all about that. I know what it feels like to lose everything, literally, like your home, your car. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be in abusive relationships, both as a child and as an adult. I know what it feels like to go through a lot. I know what it feels like to be almost left for dead. I know things about life. Um, Scary life can be, but on the other side of that, life can be really amazing. Life can be really beautiful, really incredible. Life is beautiful and incredible. So, what I'd like to leave you with today is take a look around at your life. And I want you to begin to look for the miracle blessings that are happening in your life right now. Now, first you have to detach from what you think a miracle blessing is. Some people think miracle blessings are these like big, giant, monumental moments, like God speaking or something, or I don't know, money starts literally growing on trees. I mean, I guess it could. You could figure that out. I have not mastered that one yet, but I'd be willing to play with that. But you know what I'm saying? Miracles are subtle, but the more you recognize the subtle miracles, the faster we bring in those big miracles. So I want to leave you with that today. And I want to mention we're going to be doing a I have to get the details down, but I've got a live empowerment circle that's going to be launching here, and it's going to be free. It's going to be free and fun. And I was looking at November, but I'm thinking it's probably going to have to be December. I don't have all the details yet, but I want to go ahead and leave that with you. I'm going to do a live empowerment circle. It's going to be 60 minutes. And it's going to be with a group of women who are ready to make some shifts and are ready to really take an area of their life and say, okay, Tara, let's do this. And we're gonna move some energy. We're gonna move some blocks because as those of you who don't know, I am an intuit. I'm an energy practitioner. That's something I do as a passion project on the side of my regular corporate gig in life. And I have many gifts. I have many gifts to offer. And I want to support those women who are interested and ready to get on a women's empowerment circle for 60 minutes, and we'll take a couple areas of our lives, and you'll be able to interact with me personally. We'll look at, if you feel brave enough to share what's really going on in your world and brave enough to get some coaching and some support. I should say mentoring, more mentoring, not coaching, but more mentoring. And then we'll move some things in hopes to, create something really spectacular that you desire. And I'm just there to help you, shed light on the blind spots and then, boost you into what's next. So know that that's coming. I'll talk about more. We'll get the details on the next episode, but I wanted to throw that out there. I'll keep I'll keep you guys posted and put links in the show notes. But until next time, I really do want to begin to dive into being on the court of life. That's what's next. And I have some beautiful things to share about that, especially in the area of love and love of self and how life can reflect that upon you and really reflect the areas in which you need to see. And I also want to share, what I had done for myself when I was able to see something really profound in the area of loving myself, and how I had been leaking out energy by allowing this energy to be out there, attaching it either to men or whatever, not recognizing that feeling needed to come up within me. So I'm just going to throw that out there, but I'll talk about that more in the next episode. So until next time, I do want to thank all of you for being here. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Life is a healing adventure. It really is happening for us. I'm the intuitive mentor mom, Tara Mychelle. I look forward to seeing you on that next episode, and have a blessed and beautiful weekend. Take care. Thank you for coming on this healing adventure today. If you're starting to see how everything is falling into place for you, consider rating the show and sharing it with one of your friends. Keep that spirit alive and join me next week, same place, same time. Have a great week.